wonderful. If you're in this sisterhood or brotherhood of eaters, she's like number one. She's just and of course she's a drinker too.
See this? That's a beauty.
Going into your restaurant it felt like you were going into a whole other world. I mean, almost like into a temple of food.
B.patisserie's chocolate banana almond croissants and glacéed bananas, a classic from the Mandarin. She was born almost 100 years ago in a China that no longer exists. Her privileged childhood was interrupted when the Japanese invaded and she was forced to flee, and then flee again when the Communist Revolution swept over China. But Cecilia Chiang is a survivor, and in the 1950s she sailed into San Francisco. Though she had never cooked a day in her life, she opened the Mandarin, an acclaimed restaurant that would revolutionize Chinese food in America. She mentored some of America's greatest chefs, the likes of Julia, James Beard, and Alice Waters. Now in her mid-90s, Cecilia is mentoring a new generation of San Francisco chefs and sharing her century of kitchen wisdom.
Turns you on to things that you never would have tasted. When you travel with Cecilia, she just goes first class and demands going first class. So, she finds the most interesting cutting-edge restaurants. Now, that's not to say that she doesn't like that stuff on the street, because above everything, Cecilia is an eater. I mean, she knows how to eat. But I have to tell you, so we were walking across Westlake in Hangzhou, and there were a lot of little sellers there. And she bought me a stick of these tiny little apples, like this big, that were on a skewer, and they were glazed in this crispy sugar glaze. I'll never forget. She said, "Patti, try this. They really do this well here." And I'll never forget that flavor, that texture. So when you hang out with Cecilia, she gets you to those flavors, those tastes that you never forget. I mean, she has such wide experience, eating all over the world, not just in Asia. And her taste is so good. She knows when it's special. A lot of people say, "Oh, try this is special." Bull. It's not. She really knows. I mean, that's what's so wonderful. If you're in this sisterhood or brotherhood of eaters, she's like number one. She's just and of course she's a drinker too, a fantastic drinker. I mean, she drinks everybody under the table.
When it comes to the San Francisco sisterhood of food, Cecilia has long been front and center. She would go on to mentor chefs who would become legends in their own right, like Thomas Keller, Jeremiah Tower, and a young Alice Waters, who was one of my grandmother's earliest of protégés. When Alice first met Cecilia, the Mandarin was in its heyday, and Chez Panisse was just an idea in Alice's head. It would be a restaurant that would use only local and sustainably raised ingredients, a new and even revolutionary idea back in 1971. There was to be just one set menu each evening. It would change every night and be more like giving a dinner party than running a restaurant. Chez Panisse would, of course, go on to greatness. But back in 1970, Alice Waters was still trying to figure things out, and Madame Chiang was there to take her under her wing.
Going into your restaurant it felt like you were going into a whole other world. I mean, almost like into a temple of food. I felt so lucky to be invited for your banquet meals, that you had the dinners for James Beard.
Yes.
And he was at the head of the table. And maybe there were 12 people around. And I had the good fortune to be part of that group. And I can't tell you how much I learned and absorbed from the banquet meals. And you always, I seem to be always next to you, and you would be putting things on my plate and putting seconds of things on my plate and telling me exactly why they were there. Nobody was setting a menu for you. Nobody was thinking about how courses went together. And that was very important for me because we only had one menu when we started Chez Penny's. And so people had to eat the way that we wanted them to eat. And every time I came to eat as part of the banquet, and you suggested a banquet on your menu, that people ate in a certain way and ate things that they probably wouldn't have eaten before.
That's right.
You understood something about cooking and hospitality of the table and wanted to eat that particular food that you had in China. And I went to France, and I wanted, when I came back here, I wanted to eat French food like I had eaten when I lived there. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking for taste. And I looked high and low for taste. I couldn't, I ended up ultimately at the doorsteps of the organic farmers who lived in Northern California. But I couldn't find the food that tasted like the French food. And to think about China, think about 3,000 years of not only sorting plants for vigor and for nutrition, but for taste, and knowing about what things are really good for you, if you get a cold in the winter, what you should be eating. I mean, we need that sense of a big Chinese culture around food and health. I think, and that's what I've gotten from you.
Talk about yin and yang. After you eat crab, usually in China, always give you a little cup brown sugar with fresh ginger.
Oh, really?
To drink, to balance.
Like a little tea, hot tea?
Yes,
okay.
Hot tea. Balance. So that's how, when we were kids, my mother talk about the food yin and yang. So we get the ideas. We know certain things, and when you eat too much cucumber, then you have to eat something on the yang side to balance in your system.
You need to write a book about this, Cecilia.
Belinda Liang is my grandmother's latest and nowadays closest of proteges. They are friends bordering on family. Despite the 60 years difference in age, it's uncanny how much they have in common. B.patisserie in the Pacific Heights neighborhood can rival any bakery in San Francisco, or for that matter, Paris or Vienna. Belinda's pastries are a mix of classic French technique and American ingredients. Her desserts are exceptional but approachable. Everything gets prepared right there in the bakery's open kitchen. Just one of the reasons the place has been slammed ever since it opened just a few years ago.
Today is supposed to be your day off today.
Kind of, yeah.
You have to work again. But you enjoy what you're doing, are you?
Yeah, I love it.
I love it. That's good. When you're in the restaurant business, especially like you're baking, you need good health.
I know. I have to discipline myself a little bit more. Just a little bit, because one day I'll be like you.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That'll be great.
So I heard about your banana dessert at the Mandarin. So what is the story behind it?
You know, this banana dessert, right now in the whole United States, not one Chinese restaurant doing that.
I've never seen it.
It's not a very easy dessert to make. Usually need a 2 person doing that. So I say this is something I want to tell you how to do this. Maybe someday put it.
One day, when we do tableside service. I'm gonna put the water.
Yeah.
This is about 4 cups of sugar
4 cups.
and corn syrup. So I'm gonna cook this to 310 degrees.
10 degrees.
Okay. How did you come up with this?
When I was a child, we every weekend my parents usually took all these children go out dinner the weekend, you know. So ended with this glazed banana. And then, you know, in the old days, banana in China quite expensive,
Really?
especially in northern China, because northern China we have a long winter, cold, the weather cold. This is tropical fruit. You have to come from Canton, way back in the south. They have to ship it over. And in the old days, only thing you can ship it by train. No airplane, no bus. So by train, so this is, you have to come all the way from the south to north.
So only the fine dining restaurants
Yeah,
would
so
have.
when I was a kid, we used to have that. I thought this is really nice. When I opened the restaurant, so I said, I must put this in and introduce this dessert to American.
Who taught you how to make this?
So I got the recipe, I showed the chef. Actually, my chef is from Hong Kong, but he was young, and he said, I'm willing to learn.
Okay.
I go over and over. Not the first time, many times go through. Finally, perfect. Then we serve.
Okay, so the tricky thing is the syrup.
Yeah, the tricky thing is the syrup, and
Getting
also
the right-
the
okay.
timing. The timing, 3 steps. First you make the syrup, then you have to deep fry the banana,
Okay.
and then you dip in the ice water.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
first step, second step, one step. Usually need 2 cooks.
That's why I have you. So you have to. You're my second person. No, I'm your second person.
I tried. I haven't done this since I sold the Mandarin, you know. So I forgot how to do it either.
I already measured everything.
Yeah.
We'll mix the egg white. So in here I have the cornstarch, the flour, the baking powder,
Yeah, baking powder.
and then
How many banana you going to do?
we'll do 2 bananas.
This is nice and firm. Try to choose the one is a little bit on the green side. How you're going to cut it? I usually do this way. You go this way and this way. So this way you have more service.
Okay.
See, this way you got more service. So
Okay.
see both sides.
Okay.
Now
So
it's boiling.
I'm gonna wait for the syrup to come up to 310.
Now it's really boiling hot. Now getting thicker. See that? And also the color now is getting a little bit yellow.
Let me check the temperature.
The good thing is right now you have all these new gadgets.
Yeah.
So you can test it. In the old days,
So
we
you-
don't have this. Everything
what did
by
you do?
experience. They use a chopstick.
Oh, and just see. Okay.
Just use a chopstick and then see the stream. They will drop down.
Almost there.
Now you can see the little stream. See that?
Oh, touch. That's hot.
I can do it. Good. Now you see the little stream getting thicker now.
Yeah.
See this?
Yeah. All the hair.
See like a stream. That's a beauty.
Down.
I think it's done.
I'm just gonna stop the cooking. Okay, so now the sugar syrup is done. This is where I need you. I need you here.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
all right, so the oil, it's 410 right now.
Yeah.
So now this is the bananas. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, they're going in. So she's just frying them. And then here's pork.
You have to take it out now. See that? See, this is it. Like ice. See that? Very good. See, nice and outside crunchy. See, yes,
So now it's my turn to teach the boss lady a recipe of mine. Are you ready?
Yes, always. You know that in China we have an old saying, even I'm 95, you know, but I'm still want to learn.
She's like a sister, she's like a mother. I mean, she's so supportive and I can feel her energy. She makes my whole body smile. So I think we do that to each other. So I think we're a great pair. This is the chocolate almond banana croissant. So this is another signature of the bakery. The first one, of course, being the Queen Yamhan, which is one of your favorites.
That's right.
So we're gonna take the classic croissant, and then we're gonna put almond cream, and I'm gonna show you how to make the almond cream, and then chocolate. And then roasted bananas, and then we're gonna close it, and then put more almond cream, and then cocoa powder and almonds.
Wow.
Okay. I believe everybody does a chocolate, the pain au chocolat, the chocolate croissant. So I wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit. And I think, or a lot of people do love chocolate and bananas together.
Yeah.
Because someone asked me the other day, how come you don't do a pain au chocolat? It's like, well, because everyone does it, and if you want one, you can go to all the other bakeries that do it, right? But not many people will have this one.
Just like me, I don't want to be a copycat. I want to do something
Have to do something different.
different.
So, are you ready for this?
Yes, sure.
Okay. So first, we're gonna put the butter, powdered sugar. I'm gonna alternate the almond flour
Yes.
with the eggs. So anytime you alternate dry with wet, you always start with the dry and end with the dry. And you do that so that you don't overwork your batter. And then end with the almond flour and cornstarch. So this is the almond cream. So next we're gonna assemble the croissant.
Croissant.
Okay.
Okay.
So here we have the croissants that have been baked yesterday. You always have to use day-old croissants because if it's the same day, it'll be too soft.
Too soft.
And then when you're putting all the fillings in, and when you bake it, it'll be too flat. So it's just not very presentable. So here, we just cut all the croissants.
Right in the middle.
And you go, look at that croissant.
Like a sponge inside.
So that's how you know if it's a
Yeah.
beautiful croissant. Just
That's what I mean.
the structure
Yes,
and how
right.
open it is.
Like a sponge. Yeah.
We open it up, and then Just spread it pretty much like toast.
So
Okay.
you covered every single spot.
Okay. I roasted bananas in brown sugar and a little butter. So I'm gonna put one banana.
Just like a sandwich. So you bake it.
We're gonna bake it after. This is your lunch. So then you get a chocolate baton,
Oh,
one piece. I guess we do need 2 people for this. Okay, so now that's the chocolate and banana inside. And then now we put the almond cream on top.
wow.
And then when you put the almond cream, you want to make sure a lot of the surface is covered with the almond cream because whatever's not covered will be dry also. So, the croissants are very tender. So
Tender,
it's, okay. And then this one.
How many you make every day?
Whew. We pretty much make about almost 250.
250 a day?
200, yeah.
Wow.
There's some days where it's a little
That's
less,
a lot.
but so then
You put the
almonds.
chopped almond.
And then cocoa powder. Perfect. I baked a few for you to try now. So then I just bake it until it's golden brown.
Golden brown.
And that's it.
Oh, look at the label. Inside, you can see the chocolate still there. So good. Yum, yum.
This is my favorite croissant.
You can taste the chocolate and the banana. Wow, delicious. Just like you said, I don't want to do something other restaurants have. That's why my menu, you cannot find any chop suey, egg foo young, and chow mein. I do something nobody else going to do it, like the dessert glazed banana, like a lot of my famous dish like minced squash, Peking duck, smoked duck, bagel chicken,
All specialties.
all the specialties. So make me, successful.
She has the ability to see things because she's seen it all, and she knows what's special, and she knows what's good, and she knows who has it and who doesn't, right? And when you have that connection, you'd be foolish not to embrace it. And she's a dear, dear, dear friend of mine, a dear friend of mine, and an incredibly special lady.
I really adore her spirit, her toughness, the gossip, everything about it. Everything about her is just fun for me. And I hope I'm fun for her. I really do, because it's not going to end. We're just going to keep going together.
When you walk into a restaurant, it's almost like, Queen Elizabeth coming in. People just bow and you have such respect. Even if they don't know who you are, you have such a regal bearing.
The energy in the room.
And the energy. It's
magnetic.
like you walk into a room and you light up the room because you're lit up. I mean, I've never
thank
seen
you.
anyone of your age that smiles like she
And it
does.
causes the people
And look
in
at
the
her
room
eyes, they
to be like,
sparkle.
who is that?
Every day is to me right now. A precious every night, every day, every moment. I'm still here. Oh, lucky.